rental at a time. And Thursdays, if you don't know, are very, very busy days for me. We get started early. And what I want to do first is I want to do a deep dive on the National Association of Realtors June housing report. Yesterday, we talked about the housing report where transactions were crashing seemingly everywhere except Memphis, which I thought was interesting. And now what we're going to do is we are going to go into the data. I have read the National Association Realtors report cover to cover. Yesterday, I only had 10 minutes, so I read the summary. We're going to talk about the data behind the data. More importantly, what I am going to ask you to do, I want you to take this national information and I would like you to break it down for your state, your city, and most importantly, your buy box. National Association of Realtors is a great set of data for economists, for financial services folks, but it is really, really bad data for your buy box. But I think there are some things in this report that you can take and ask your question. Is my market like the country, or is my market different? So what I did is I found 6 variables that I want to talk about. Most of them bad, a couple of them surprising. But again, I'm going to ask you to take this information to your buy box. So first, the first piece of data is DOM stands for days on market. Days on market, surprising, at least to me, maybe not to you, but days on market actually set a record of 14 days. Last month was 17. So again, I've had 24 hours to digest this information. I've spoken with dozen of real estate brokers. You have to understand how days on market are calculated, and we have to understand something else that you and I have talked about: wish pricing, cancellation, expireds. One of the things that you have to know about days on market is, let's say you were like, we talked to Adrian yesterday, who's an Orange County agent, for example. He took a listing, I believe he told us, at 1.49 wish pricing. Actual pricing should have been 1.25. What happened? Well, in that example, they kept the listing on the market for 3 weeks, 21 days. And then after 21 days, the seller took it off the market. They canceled the listing. So one of the things that we need to appreciate about days on market is it doesn't capture cancellations. So one of the things that is going to be we just have to appreciate about days on market is maybe it's not giving us the true picture, right? Days on market is a number that could fluctuate greatly based on cancellations. I personally do not believe last month, the month of June, was the hottest real estate market ever. I do not believe that. I don't think any of you believe that. But if you looked at days on market, the lowest on record of 14 days, just by itself, you could create a video that says June was the hottest real estate market ever. I don't think that's true. You don't think that's true. This is just data being spun in lots of ways. So again, it is factually correct, but I think it's missing some important things. Let's go here. This is a different story, right? So again, if cancellations are kind of hiding days on market, what about active listings? Great question. This is something, if you're in my class or you follow me here on YouTube, please understand how many listings are in your buy box. You should track that every day. Hey, I have 17, I got 19, I got 14, I got 28. You should be tracking active listings because that is a sign that sellers are getting motivated. That's motivation hides in active listings. So definitely track that. But here we go. Nationally, 1.26 million plus 2.4% year on year. This is the first year-on-year increase in active listings in several years. I think it was 20 or 31 months or something like that. We have not seen active listing year-on-year increase in quite a while. We now have broken the trend, and I believe we'll have that go forward, the next month and next month. But here is the deal. This is why I think this is a garbage metric. While it's factually correct, I do not think it is relevant because of this metric right here. Months of inventory is now 3.0 months, was 2.6. So, hey, how can that be? How can days on market fall, but months of inventory go up? Great question. It was that confusion in the data that had me digging deeper and realizing that cancellations make this go away. Days on or months of inventory, this is important. Months of inventory is important. This number, days on market, not so much. Months of inventory is critical. You've heard for years probably that an average market has 6 months of inventory. I would argue that in today's world, it's closer to 5 months. But again, you know your buy box, I know mine. Figure out what balanced is for you. But why is this going higher when that went lower? It's because months of inventory actually has both supply and demand components. What have you and I talked about on this channel? Transactions are going to crash. What does that mean, transactions are going to crash? Well, it means, unfortunately, we are going to lose both sides of the equation. What does that mean? Well, in a transaction, you have a buyer and a seller. Months of inventory means buyers have disappeared. You and I both know interest rates are up 100%. 3% to roughly 6%. The affordability level is at record lows. 18 million people that could qualify at 3 can't qualify at 6. That is demand destruction. On top of that, we have now FOMO, fear of missing out from sellers. And I think this gets worse before it gets better. What does that mean? That means you are sitting at home on your kitchen, around your kitchen table or on your couch, or you're out for a walk and you go, honey, it's peak pricing. Let's sell. Let's rent. Let's move in with our in-laws. Let's buy back cheaper. So when you get FOMO, supply, into receding demand, this month goes up, or this metric goes up, and I believe will go up much, much more. Pay attention to months of inventory. Next, 5 months of declining, transactions. If you've been following my channel for any length of time, you know that I believe we are going to suffer at least a 30% crash this year, and ultimately 50%. It will be the largest crash on record in transaction when this is all said and done. Now it is 5 months in a row, and it will get worse from here. This is a number to watch. This will bottom someday, but track your market. Watch your market. Your market may bounce first. It may bounce later. Again, if you follow my teachings or my advice, you have a buy box. You look at that buy box every day. You should know that buy box better than 99% of agents. It takes time. It takes discipline, but I believe in you. You can do this. Track your buy box, whatever that. And if you don't know what a buy box is, great news. There's a playlist on this channel called Deep Dive. We did 60 minutes on buy box, and I had students give samples. Go watch that. It is there for you. Number four. Number four. 5, 1, 2. Oh, yeah. Number four. So the actual number down 14.2%. This is what we call, this is what we got. This is actually a number I gave you yesterday, but still relevant. We are now down 1 million units. 1 million units, and we are going lower. That is nationally speaking. What is happening in your market? Please go back to June 21, June 20, June 19 if you can. Find out what your market looked like then. Find out what it looks like now. Track this stuff, folks. This stuff is important. Go figure out your watching all of these national crash videos and fear porn doesn't help you. Get a buy box. Look at your buy box. And again, if you don't know what a buy box is, good news. There's a 60-minute video, soup to nuts. Go watch that in the playlist called Deep Dive. And then finally, price. 416K, up 13.4. This again is a record high. There's one more metric, and again, it's what I've been indicating I thought was going to happen. Some of you are saying prices are falling. Maybe in your market, maybe in your buy box, maybe month on month. But again, you can't argue the data. 416K is a record. It's a record. And I had comments yesterday saying it's falling. I'm like, let's at least agree that 416 is bigger than 408. I mean, I don't understand how that's not bigger, but okay. But again, national median. Please know your buy box. If you're in Phoenix and stuff is soft, great. Good for you. Awesome. I'm excited for you. Go figure that out. And then finally, why have I been calling for median to rise when transactions are falling? Finally, National Association of Realtors have given you the answer. This is what I thought was going to happen, and National Association of Realtors just talked about it. It is so important, we're going to put it up here by itself. Okay, so again, National Association of Realtors, median price, 416, remember? Actually, let's do it this way. So 500K or less, 500K or more. So again, National Association of Realtors puts out lots of great information. They take all of these transactions, they put them in different buckets. If you look at the data, there's numbers below 100K, 100K to 250, 250 to 500, 500 to 750, 750 to a million, on and on and on. And you can look at the data. But what National Association of Realtors actually put in their report is exactly what I thought would happen, and you and I have talked about it for months. This is why I was confident that the median would rise. It's a structural problem, right? You have this line. Cheapest, $1 to 1 billion. You just line up all the housing, and then there's the middle. From National Association of Realtors, if you just look at this portion, down 31%. If you look at this portion, down 12%. If you look at this portion, plus 1%. This is probably the most important thing for you to understand about your buy box. When did I find this out? Well, the first time I had this epiphany or light bulb moment is when we talked to John Wake about Phoenix, Arizona. If you remember the story, I talked to Brian Lebo about Vegas, and he tells me, Michael, my problem is up here, specifically 750 grand to $1 million. John Wake comes on a week later and says, Michael, in Phoenix, my problem is here. It's on the low end. It's all this open door, closed door, go bankrupt company nonsense. So please do yourself a favor. This is critical. If you do one thing because of this video, this is what I want you to do. I want you right now, today. Let me get a different color. I'm sorry. This one's fine. I want you in your market, your buy box, you must know the median price. The country is 416, but that's not your median price. That's not yours. Please do the math, call agents, do the work, whatever it is. Go get that number today. Then you have this buy box. I want you to start tracking it. What inventory is below and what inventory is above. Because if you are like Phoenix, Arizona, and your inventory is skewing towards the low end, your median price is going down, down, down. If you are like Brian Lebo in Vegas, your median price will skew higher. It's just how the mechanics of median price work. So, very important stuff. This national stuff is fun for me, but please take this information and look at your market. None of this stuff matters to you in any great detail. It's interesting, it's fun to talk about, but please do the work in your buy box. Other things that I found, first-time home buyers, up to 30% of transactions, where it was 27% last month. I believe first-time home buyers go up as a percentage. How can that be? Simply, FHA, VA buyers have a shot today. You had no, let's be honest, FHA and VA buyers for 2 years, no shot. Too hard, too picky, blah, blah, blah. FHA and VA buyers, you have a shot and you will get your house, but make better offers. All cash transactions, still 25%. Cash transactions, they don't care about interest rates, still 25% of the market. Investors, 16% of the market. And then for those hoping for foreclosures, foreclosures are less than 1% of the market. Couple of last things as we wrap this up. The hottest of hot markets in June, Miami. Miami went up 40% in a year. That is crazy. Orlando, 30%. And then finally, Nashville, Tennessee, also went up 30%. So again, lots of data inside the National Association of Realtors. Hopefully you appreciate what is there. But again, remember, national stuff, shoot, state metrics should mean very little to you. If you follow what we talk about at one rental at a time, you have a buy box. You look at your buy box every day and you look at nothing else. Please figure out the median price, figure out where inventory is on the side of that in your area, because that will be a sign. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I now will flip to the daily financial news because I need to speak with Jonathan here at 7:30. Have a wonderful day. We'll do the daily financial news in a couple of seconds. Bye-bye.